I'm still trying to find. I don't know how to share the screen on Facebook, but turn the screen so that they can see us. There we go.
You got it. All right. I might have to try that. See if I.
I know, right? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mental Health and Performance and Nutrition with Kevin Breckenridge for the Health is Wealth Week. So stay tuned. We're getting ready to get started. Trying to get this multi-camera angle. So I got Facebook here. We got those of you on Zoom here. And yes, I'm on the bouncy ball.
All right, there we go. I think we got it. Can you see yourself? All right. Yeah. All right. So I'll have to take a different posture. So we'll do the interview like this. What's up, Kayla?
I know, right?
Okay, so
what's going on, guys? What's going on?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. A little gloomy, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. How's the weather in Columbus?
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's about 60-something degrees. Just got back inside from running with the dogs and all that. So yeah.
Okay. Beautiful day. All right. So for anyone who's actually watching from my Facebook Live and anyone who can hear me watching from Kayla's Facebook Live, I want to officially welcome you all to the first annual Health is Wealth Week. I'm excited that we were able to work together to get this week off the ground, and I'm looking forward to continuing to have this on an annual basis. And outside of, the uniqueness of 2020 and the pandemic, we're looking forward to having some live events over the years as we move forward with having this annual event. So today we have a very, very, very special guest. We have Cailah Brock, who I remember. Hey, speaking of Kayla, I won't get too embarrassing, but I found my high school yearbook from 2003, and I saw a couple photos of Kayla in there. And I was like, I wonder if she would mind if I posted these.
Yes, please do. I enjoy laughing at myself, so that'll be interesting.
Okay. I'll have to do that. But let me, since I rearranged my setup here so we could get a little dual screen going, I'll give just kind of a brief overview of what we have going on this week, and then we'll kind of jump into everything with the conversation with Kayla. And actually, let me set my timer so I can try to make sure that we stay on some type of time frame. Okay, so this
y'all can hear on Facebook, give me like a thumbs up or something. Let me know that you guys can hear Kevin coming through the speakers. Let me know.
Yep. So this week with Health is Wealth Week, we have a number of events that are taking place. We started the week off yesterday with just a general conversation about health and health being wealth, as well as just a little overview of what's going to take place this week. So today we are actually talking about mental health. We're touching on performance. We're also touching on nutrition. On Wednesday, we're having a conversation about mental rehearsal and the power of the mind. That is going to be Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Friday, we're having a conversation about mental health and entrepreneurship. That's going to take place at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Saturday, we're having a group activity, so to speak, where I'm asking everyone, wherever you are, to kind of get out at around 7 a.m. Here is going to be Eastern Standard Time, but wherever you are, when 7 o'clock hits in the morning, try to get out, do 30 minutes of physical activity, and post your picture and let us know that you were involved with Health is Wealth Week. So that's what we have going on this week. Now, without further delay, I want to do a slight introduction to Kayla, and then I'll ask Kayla to tell you a little bit more about her. So Kayla has over 13 years of experience in the fitness and nutrition industry, and she has helped hundreds of clients lose thousands of pounds and eliminate dozens of medications. She also has an online training and nutrition coaching program called Design Your Body Academy, and she is improving lives nationwide. Look at you. You know, you got more. I have to say, I am impressed. I am impressed. I just crossed over 10 years in the real estate industry, and and you have 13. I know what it was like getting those 10. So I can only imagine what it was like getting those extra 3. So I'm highly impressed with the dedication and early commitment. You made an early commitment to the industry. So give us a little overview. Tell us.
Started in high school.
Wow. Yeah, you'll have to tell us about that. So tell us a little bit more about who you are and kind of, what you do.
Well, hey again, guys. Again, my name is Coach Cailah. I'm looking at you here on Facebook and here on my Zoom. My name is Coach Cailah. Again, I've been in the field for, actually, I think April 6th made it 14 years officially.
Wow.
I started off in high school, and I started literally, Coach Braddock, he was my motivation.
Okay.
Right. So my story kind of starts with being a little fat kid in grade school. I was always a little fat kid. I was always the meatball, they call me, no matter what sport I did. But let's say in basketball, I was the meatball. So coach would say, hey, meatball, go get their B-ball. And he would always challenge me to get, to stick their biggest, their tallest, their whatever girl. And I was short, but I was still heavy. I felt it as a challenge because I was like, I could go get this tall girl. But in reality, I was the biggest girl on the team. I was big for my age. I was big for my height. And then I got to high school at Roger Bacon. And that's where I met Kevin. That's where we ran track. Did we cross a year? I think we crossed a year, at least 1 year, right?
You said.
I know you ran with Josiah.
Yep. I ran with Josiah, so it was at least 1 year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we crossed over 1 year at track, and we had the same high school coach, Darren Braddock. Yep. And it's crazy because I remember every workout that we did. I could tell you the workout from day one practice on up through regionals, on up through all that. So. And it was crazy because every time I started track season, I would start at like 160 pounds. So my freshman year, I started track at 160 pounds, and I was only like 5'3". So a 5'3" freshman female at 160 pounds was pretty heavy. And I would end track season at around 130. Same thing sophomore year. I would go and I would start season after basketball season at around 155, and I would end at 130. So every single year I ended my track season at 130 pounds, and something started me thinking like, why am I ending every single year at 130 pounds? Maybe this is my set weight. Maybe this is my performance weight. And I started to realize like, dang, I'm literally gaining 30 pounds every year and losing, 25, 30 pounds every year. So I had to look at my life. I had to talk with myself and see what is it that I'm doing that's causing me A, to gain the weight, and B, to lose the weight. Wow. And then I started looking at the aspect of design, so with Coach Braddock, he would have us peaking at the right time. Again, Coach Braddock was my high school track coach. He would have us peaking and operating at our best, our highest performance near, state, regional, district, near all those times. And there was a set plan for it. So that's where my thought process and my motto of design your body, get it? Design your body kind of came into play, because there's a method to getting to your results. There's a reason and there's a set point to get to where you want to go. So if you step on an elevator and you say you want to go to the 13th floor, you hit the 13th floor and you get up there. It's the same thing with your body. Where do you want to go? And so for the past, years in my education and my certifications, I've been able to discover that how to get there. Been able to discover with my clients, okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z to reach your goals of 5-pound weight loss to 6-pound abs, or 6-pack abs, or, becoming a bodybuilder or whatever else. So design your body literally came from me being a little fat kid and losing weight continually and gaining weight and realizing, hey, I can manipulate how my body operates to put myself in position as to what I want to look like and how strong I want to be and what level of performance I want to commit to. So that's kind of my origin story.
Okay. It's interesting that you mentioned Coach Braddock's. Now, I have to say, I don't remember I mean, I don't remember you being like, I don't know. Maybe, you know, I just wasn't paying attention. I wasn't going around in high school like, oh, she's 160 and she's 140, you know. But I never, I don't think I ever thought that you were one of the chubbier kids. So maybe you hit it well. But that's interesting that you literally would fluctuate weight, you know, like that on a yearly basis. And that's what, you know, got you thinking about your own performance, the way that your body fluctuates in weight, and things like that. And it's also interesting, you mentioned Coach Braddock's. A lot of, and I say a lot of people, it's not, you know, I don't have this conversation a lot, but Coach Braddock's, one, on top of being an excellent coach, it speaks volumes about the power of having a coach and having a skilled coach and having somebody in your corner. In this case, we're talking about track and field, we're talking about high school sports, but the correlation between having a coach and having someone increase your performance, increase your self-confidence, you know, all of these types of things. It was Coach Braddock's who was actually really the main driving force behind me actually competing athletically in college. And as a matter of fact, it was Coach Braddock's who dropped me off on the first day of college at Youngstown State. And I know there are countless, that's crazy, right? So I know there
it is.
Right. He literally drove me all the way to Youngstown and dropped me off, had everything packed up in the Explorer. And that's how I got, you know, that's how I got all my stuff. That's how I got all my stuff to campus. But it's,
That's
I know
a good man right there.
yeah, excellent. Great man. I know there are no shortage of, you know, athletes and people who have come through his program, you know, who have similar stories. So that's interesting that, you know, that you said that and that it played a part in spawning off your career. Okay. So 13 years in the game, you know, what has kind of been like your trajectory in the industry, from, you know, beginning to end when you first decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do for now. What was that deciding point, or what was that decision factor that said, I want to make this my profession? And then what was kind of your trajectory from there?
That's a good question. Well, when I went to college, I wanted to be a surgeon. Like that was my original goal. I wanted to be a surgeon when I went to college. And I wasn't smart enough to get into med school. So it was like, okay, well, we're going to put you in this kind of this general health field to get you started. And then we'll, you know, get your grades in, and then you go to, you know, go to med school. Or should say pre-med, I should say. And I never got my grades up to the point that was acceptable for getting into pre-med. But I really had to look at myself and look in the mirror, and I put my hands out. Don't mind my nails, you know, we're in quarantine, nail tech issues. But I put my hands out, and I saw like my hands just continually move. I wasn't able to keep steady. And I'm like, how am I going to be a surgeon and I'm jacking up somebody if I can't even keep my hands still? You know? And then I was able to interview a surgeon. And I looked at her life, and I didn't really like that lifestyle. You know, she was working all hours of all weeks of all days, and really didn't have a lot of time with family. And that's not something that that I saw myself doing. I love the aspect of surgery and medicine, but I didn't see that lifestyle for me. And so I became more and more interested in my own body and in my own athleticism. And in college, I majored in exercise science and fitness management. And then that's what kind of got me in the fitness exercise field. From there, I wanted to become a strength and conditioning coach, which I did, got my certification for that. But I wanted to work in the college sector because I love athletes. Like college, they were ready to go. They were hungry. They wanted to get better. They wanted to push and go and win. And I love that. That was me, and that still is me. So after undergrad, I went to Ohio University, and I worked in their recreation center, running their fitness department. So I was the GA for their fitness department, essentially. Following grad school, I got a job before I even graduated, thank the Lord. And I went to University of Baltimore, and I ended up running their fitness and wellness department.
Oh, that's how you ended up in Baltimore. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So from University of Dayton to Ohio University, and then before I graduated, I think I got the job in like April or February. They wanted me to come out and start working. I'm like, wait a minute, let me finish my master's first. And then that's how I got out to Baltimore. Now, let me backtrack. I started Rock Solid Fitness in 2006, and I was a senior in high school, you know? So I was a senior in high school, and Braddock's had left, you know? So Coach Braddock's had left Roger Bacon, and we had no coach. So I'm in my senior year. It's supposed to be my heyday. We're supposed to take over the world, and my coach got a better opportunity, and he went elsewhere. And there are also political issues with Roger Bacon. We know how that goes. So I ended up coaching the team. So I coached the entire indoor team from weight room to, you know, indoor practices. We went to all meets and all that. So I coached the team and ended up coaching a little bit of the outdoor season. And I was so passionate about it that I quit basketball. Because again, it was still my senior year. I still played basketball. I was pretty good at that. But I quit basketball to coach the team. And then I ended up saying like, hey, well, if I can coach people my own age, you know, maybe I can help somebody lose weight. Maybe I can kind of take on some clients. So I started taking on clients, and that's how my original business, the Rock Solid Fitness, if you see my little old school, so that's the first one. So that's how Rock Solid Fitness started, was from me coaching my high school team, and then kind of getting to a point where I got confident enough to coach or to kind of become a personal trainer and train people in the basement or outside. So from 2006 on, I kept that business while I was still working in corporate. And I just felt led to move, you know. So in the midst of running at the University of Baltimore and running that facility, I opened my own 5,400 square foot facility out in Baltimore. And I ran that for about 3 years. And so I was really, so that's what I did out there. Majority was run the Rock Solid Fitness. You know, I did everything from rolling down the flooring to tile to, of course, painting and drywall, all that fun stuff. So I ran that facility for about 2 or 3 years. And most of my people that are watching me now are from somewhere in Baltimore. They're kind of connected with me there. And I had an amazing experience and opportunity to really help people. Like I was really able to track weight loss. And when I say like I've helped hundreds of clients lose thousands of pounds, I mean it. Like literally thousands of pounds have gone off, you know, between the time I was in Baltimore and even now. And of course, a little bit before that. And then I ended up falling in love with the online space, and I closed my facility and then moved here to Ohio and, you know, continue to run the online so that I'm still able to help more clients. You know, so my goal was if I can only work out one client or one group an hour, there's only so many hours in the day. So I want to maximize the amount of time and space that I have to be able to help others. And so that's why I went online and kind of transitioned everyone, because now you don't have to worry about, can you get a time with me? You know, and I'm not trying to wake up at 4 a.m. to work out with you because that's your personal schedule. So it kind of just worked out all along. But that's kind of how I fell into, you know, design your body. That's the motto. That's the business. And that's kind of my process up to now.
Wow. Very, very extensive. Very extensive. You have a ton of experience. I like it. All right. So let's jump in. And so we're titled today about mental health, performance, and nutrition. So one of the things I was going to ask you, and I'll probably start off with this now. For you and I, we're both athletes and, you know, former athletes. I know you're still competing, and I'll ask you about that a little later. But for athletes, generally, it tends to be a little bit easier for us to jump outside and go running or work out. If we're still active athletes, we've been trained to do that. And so we've been able to carry that mentality and that mindset, you know, throughout the years. But how would you recommend, or what type of advice would you give for anyone who may be watching? I had some people watching yesterday, and they, you know, haven't worked out in a while, and they were talking about how difficult it is to actually get back out there and to start getting into some type of routine. So from a mindset standpoint and a thought process, and any, you know, thoughts or ideas you might have behind that, what would you say?
Use excuses. So most Americans are really good at creating excuses to get out of or to get into something different, you know. So take the coronavirus. Most people usually aren't outside exercising, walking, or whatever on any given day, on any beautiful, nice day like this. But because there's a quarantine, now you have an excuse to, oh, well, I don't want to sit in the house. I want to get up and go outside. So there's an excuse that more people are now being active. you know. And same thing, if you look at, okay, most people don't like exercise. Fact of the matter, most people do not enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, if you have a means to the end, if your end is, you know, I want a six pack, I want to get off my medication, I want to look good in a bathing suit, I want whatever your end goal is, you want to use the excuse of exercise as that means. You know, it's your reason, it's your way of getting there. And so it's about tricking your mind to put yourself in a positive position. You know, if you can, some people have issue with commanding their mind. You know, well, I'm going to sit here and let's take church, I'm going to pray for a whole hour. Really though, like a lot of people have hard times doing that. Sitting there, just focus on one thing, even prayer, meditation. A lot of us have a hard time doing that. But if we create an excuse, right? If we create, okay, well, I can't do this for a whole hour. Well, let me start off with 10 minutes. You know, well, I can't exercise like you, Coach Cailah. Well, let me go outside and walk. That's my excuse. I can't do that, but I can do this. You know, another thing that I've noticed is most people have a job in a sense where you have clients or you have meetings with your supervisor or with your staff or with whatever else. When is the last time that you missed a meeting with your boss or with your subordinates or with your staff or with your clients? You don't really miss those. But when is the last time you missed a meeting with your own nutrition or with your own fitness? We do that all the time. All the time, every day, we would put ourselves last and put someone else's fulfillment, someone else's future, someone else's positivity first. Again, their business. So if you make it a point to be the CEO of your business, you are your business. So if you make it a point to say, you know what, I am setting this meeting for myself. I am setting this time to get outside, to go exercise, to get home, do abs between commercials, whatever. If you set an appointment, if you make it a calendar time for you to do something, it is now blocked off and it is your excuse to go work. It's your excuse to go be better. Sometimes if you can't kind of turn that on for yourself, set that calendar appointment, because if you don't miss a meeting with your boss, you better not miss a meeting with yourself.
Facts. I like it. So from a mindset standpoint, a mentality standpoint, some of the things I heard you say, you talked about the ability to command your mind, command your mindset. Maybe somebody else might say that, or as an allegory, call that self-discipline. Being able to discipline yourself. And that's one thing also you talked about with setting these appointments and then committing yourself to these appointments. I also heard you talk about using the excuse to work out, but you could also say not using the excuse to not work out, or whatever other excuses you might be coming up with that might be preventing you from actually getting out there to start working out or doing some type of physical activity. Another thing I like what you said is you talked about the importance of paying yourself first, right? Committing yourself to you. And I've talked about this in the past, the importance of being the CEO of your life, being the CEO of how you operate. And when you have that type of mindset and mentality, you put yourself first and you pay yourself first. And then you raise the level of commitment that you have to yourself. And like you said, with your setting your appointments in these time frames, don't let this stuff be a negotiable item. It's non-negotiable. Just as if you were meeting with a boss or a coworker, you wouldn't miss that meeting. So don't miss this meeting with yourself.
Exactly.
I like it.
Exactly.
I like it.
Like, and when we look at self-discipline, a lot of times people think it's harder than what it is. That's why, again, it's all about either A, you got to trick yourself. Some people have to trick themselves and say, oh, well, there's no sugar in this, you know, or there is sugar in this when you're using a sugar substitute. Trick yourself mentally. But also, when it comes to discipline, you have to understand your will and your desire. You know, I personally believe that if you really want to do something, you're going to do it. You're honestly going to do it. If you really want that ice cream, you're going to go out of your way to get it. If you really want cheesecake right now from Cheesecake Factory during this coronavirus, you're going to call it in and you're going to order it.
Yep.
So what's the difference? So we really want to look at, okay, do I really want to be healthy? I want to really look at myself and say, do I really want to be healthy? Why do I want to be healthy? I know I want the cheesecake because it tastes good, it feels good, it makes me this and that. But okay, what do you feel when you look in the mirror?
Uh-huh.
Does that feel good to you? Does that make you look good? Does it make you feel good? And so when we kind of take a real self-assessment and say, okay, I know I want to be in shape. I know I want to get healthy. I don't want to exercise, but I want to look like I exercise. You have to make that thing that you want so powerful that it can ease the exercise process. You might not like exercising, but again, if you can kind of have that carrot sitting in front of you, this mental trick, again, that excuse. If you have that carrot sitting in front of you, that's going to cause you to continue. Go. You have to. Even if it's, hey, if I work out 6 times a week, I can eat, ice cream 2 times this week, whatever it may be.
Yep. Yep. And I like what you said about how do I feel? I mentioned that yesterday. So can you just touch on a little bit, and we'll move into, there's some other things I wanted to ask you about, but can you talk about the importance of having the ability to self-assess when it comes to, well, one, just self-assessment and the ability to self-assess in general, but in addition, as we're talking in this context, the importance of being able to self-assess your body, how you feel, those types of things when it comes to your overall health and well-being.
So self-assessment comes down to your own personal view of beauty. So I'm going to go to kind of, let's say a plus size model. Okay. What I would think of as a plus size model is not what mainstream fashion thinks is plus size, because I would be a plus size model considering mainstream, but when you look at yourself, you want to look at, okay, A, do I like it? Am I comfortable with this? Not about what someone else says, but am I comfortable with this? B, is what I'm comfortable with truly healthy? Because I'm going to throw out Lizzo, a new-ish artist. She's a larger lady, and she's completely comfortable with herself. And that's beautiful. You want to be comfortable with who you are, with what you wear, all that. But is your comfort real or fake? How can you be comfortable in a position where your health may be at risk? Now, I don't know that lady at all. I have no problem with that lady, and I don't know her health status. But when you look at obesity is a risk factor for dozens of diseases. It is a complete risk factor. So we want to make sure that, again, your view of yourself isn't a coping mechanism. It isn't a safety guard. You want to make sure your view of yourself is honestly your view. Like, do you like what you see in the mirror? Are you okay with these roles? Are you not okay with these roles? Do you really have to have a six-pack, or can a just flat tummy do? So whatever it is, you want to make sure that you cut through the bull. You really do, because again, some people who may be on the body positive side of things, if you're a larger person, is that a coping mechanism? Is that a negative excuse? Or what do you really want? Yeah. Is it just that it's harder to get to your true goal, and so you're going to accept where you are? I'm not cool with that. Because if you really want something, it doesn't matter how hard it is. It matters that you want it. Yeah. So identify with true sincerity what it is that you want with your body. Again, with your life, with your career, with your business, with your finances, whatever it is, truly identify what it is that you want. Part 1. Part 2, then jot down those things and those barriers that you have to overcome. Whether if it's you want your kids to go to college, all right, cool, want my kids to go to college. That means I need to save for this. I need to do this. I need to put money aside for this. I need to invest in this stock. I need to get them in sports because they might have a better shot to get a scholarship or something. So again, when it comes back to the body, have a true assessment of who you look like, of what you want to look like, and is that healthy? If it's not healthy, then you got to look at, okay, what are the things that I really need to do? And that's where Design Your Body, my motto, comes into play, because you literally can't design your body. If you take a long look in the mirror right now, the thing that is looking back at you is of your personal design. So whatever you see in the mirror is what you did to yourself, positive and negative alike. So if you want to change what you see, that means it's time to get your hammer and chisel out and start going to work, because you have all power to design your own body with your nutrition, with your exercise, with your positivity, and with your mental performance.
Yep, I like it. I like it. Whew, I mean, it's all factual. You know, I know it's all truth. And I know that one of the things you said that was really important too, is that oftentimes people ignore, or as a coping mechanism, they may ignore what they see, or they may become complacent with what they see, and they may say, okay, it's fine, it's not a big deal, or whatever the rationalization is. But how you feel and what the reality may be of what's actually happening to your health are two different things. You could be complacent with how you feel, and you say, oh, it's okay, I'm overweight, or whatever, whatever the case may be. But there are health implications that come with, poor eating, that come with, being overweight and not having enough activity level and things like that. And unfortunately, we were talking about earlier, a lot of people aren't forced to address that issue until it's too late. And then sometimes it's so far into the situation, there's not really much they can do to reverse it. They then only have to, nurse it and adapt to a new lifestyle to deal with this new reality.
Absolutely. One thing that I always say is that within the African American community, we kill ourselves. We commit a slow suicide with our nutrition and with our fitness. So every single day, we are committing suicide with how we choose to live, with our lifestyles. And if we look at, again, whether it be due to health disparities or whatever else, at the end of the day, you have the choice. It's your power, it's your decision. But I also believe that complacency is the number one killer of African Americans. Number one. Now, yes, I'm only 32 years old. Kevin, what are you, 35, 36, something like that? We're fairly young. 34, okay.
Hey, 35, yeah, I'm almost.
I try to throw a little bit on you. But though a lot of people our age, may not be truly interested in health as a thing, we have to look to our future. We have to understand that the way I live now, I'll pay for that or reap the benefit in a few years. And again, if you look at older folks, complacency, again, is the killer. Complacency is the killer, as well as miseducation in terms of what you should do, how you should eat, so on and so forth. So stop being complacent.
Great point. And it's a harsh reality. There's really no way to sugarcoat the reality, and you have to be straightforward and say, this is an issue of, and whether, regardless of ethnicity or race, whatever the truth is, this is an issue of complacency. It's an issue of misinformation. It's an issue of laziness. That's the straightforward truth. There's really no other way to say it. And one of the beautiful things about the mind and the body, these things have been studied for hundreds, thousands of years. There's still mystery, especially in the brain, but there's not a lot of mystery when it comes to how the body functions, what type of nourishment it needs, et cetera, et cetera. That information is out there. There are health professionals like yourself who go to school for this, so that you can provide, services and products, to people to help them live a healthier lifestyle. So let's jump into, we talked a lot about, you gave us a lot of good nuggets from a mental standpoint, from a mindset standpoint. Let's talk about a little bit about nutrition. And actually, I want to cover nutrition quite a bit, and maybe we can cover nutrition and performance kind of in the same breath. But from my experience, most people may have heard of the word nutrition, but they don't really understand what nutrition is, and they don't really have a high level of understanding about what nutrition is and the role that it plays in our daily lives, as well as the role that it plays in developing and impacting the human body. So could you talk a little bit more about nutrition, its role in our lifestyle, what it is, how it affects us, things like that?
Absolutely. So this is about to be a crash course in nutrition. So everybody that's watching right now, please go ahead and share it. Share this live video to your friends, to your groups, to whatever, because I'm about to spit some knowledge, and then I'm gonna drop the mic and then walk away. All right. So, okay, so nutrition. There are several parts to nutrition itself. Okay, you want to look at overarching nutrition. There are 4 main nutrients that your body has, that your body can glean energy from. Okay, 4 main nutrients your body can glean energy from. The first one is carbohydrates. All right, carbohydrates. The second is going to be protein. We understand protein. The third is going to be fats. Most people forget the last one, or they may not know, but alcohol. All right, you do glean energy from alcohol. That's why the whole idea of a beer belly, it is absolutely legit. And it's not just beer, it's all kind of alcohol, liquor, whatever. So carbs, fats, proteins, and alcohol are the 4 sources where you can glean energy from your body. Now, when we look at, a lot of people don't know what foods fall into those 4 different categories. I think everybody's got a good handle on alcohol, but when we look at carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates are your fruits, your veggies, your starches, your grains, your legumes, your things like that. Those are your carbohydrates. Your proteins ideally are going to come from heavy meat sources, whether it be red meat, white meat, seafood, whatever, right? So those are your main sources of proteins. Now, of course, we do have some combinations and some crossover, like your rice. Rice does have a few amino acids. It is an incomplete protein though, or beans. Beans do have some amino acids in them, though they are legumes on the veggie side. They still have some acids of protein. So this is where we look at your nutrition styles like vegan and vegetarianism, where they can still, sustain life pretty well when they protein complement. That's what we call it, protein complement, where you take some veggies and put them together that have different types of proteins in them that make a complete protein. Okay, fat is kind of a hard one. Mostly you're going to see your fats in liquid or solid form. Let's say olive oil, that is a fat. Avocado oil, that is a fat. But when you look at avocado itself, avocado is carbohydrates and it's fat. Okay, so you have healthy sources of fats, healthy sources of carbohydrates like fiber, and again, in a vegetable or fruit, technically, that's where your carbs and your fat itself can come from. So one of the biggest issues that African Americans have is A, not understanding what a carb, fat, and protein is, and then B, not understanding where to get them from. Now, there are dozens of diets that are out right now. There have been probably, almost 100 different legit diets that have gone on throughout the years. Anything from keto to paleo to vegan to Mediterranean, whatever else. I don't believe that there is, any real diet that is inherently wrong. There are many positive benefits that you can get from any kind of diet, okay? Now, the most important thing is understanding the macronutrients and the micronutrients. So the macros we went over, carbs, fats, proteins. Now the micronutrients are things like your vitamins, like you take a multivitamin, and your minerals, things like salt, whatever else. So take a multivitamin in order to help you out. Now, going on over back to diets. I'll take 2 opposing diets. If you have a diet like the ketogenic diet, which I'm a super huge fan of. So the ketogenic diet is a diet of high fat, moderate protein, and low carbohydrate, very low carbohydrates. And then you take a diet like, let's say vegan. Let's go completely opposite, okay? So veganism is not about macros, okay? So it's not about, are you eating a certain amount of carbs, fats, and protein? Veganism is about not eating animal products, okay? So there are 2 different types of diets. So there's a type of diet where it's about eating a certain thing, and there's a type of diet where it's about macronutrient balance, okay? So the issue is that when we have people that want to go vegan, vegetarian, paleo, whatever it may be, that does not have a macronutrient guide, they can still easily get fat. They can still easily get fat. Doesn't matter if you're a vegan, vegetarian, whatever else. You can be fat, unhealthy, and out of shape. And it's not about what are you eating. It's about, or it's not about where your food comes from. It's about what the macronutrient ratios are. So the biggest thing when it comes to macros, the 2 no-nos are you cannot have carbohydrates, high carbohydrates, and high fats together. High carbs plus high fat equals belly rolls. It equals arm rolls, arm flab, it equals back rolls, it equals weight gain automatically. So if you're a skinny girl, skinny guy, and you want to gain weight, go ahead and eat high carbs and high fat. That is a perfect ratio for you, right? Now, if you're trying to lose weight, high carbs, high fat will not work. I cannot stress that enough. So whatever nutrition style you choose to stick to, you can do either a high carb, high protein, low fat, right? Or a, high protein, high carb, low fat, or high fat, high protein, low carb. But whatever you do, it almost doesn't matter. But whatever you do, this is the secret to the industry. Do not pair high carbohydrates with high fat. I'm giving y'all literally like a $400 consultation right now. Do not pair high carbohydrates with fats, because that is the recipe for weight gain. I don't know if I should get into the science behind it. Should I? That's too much.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. That's great. All right. No, that's great. That's great. So I got a couple things. So first, one thing you mentioned, you said, hey, this is about $400 worth of consultation. So while we're on the subject, can you tell people real quickly what services do you offer? What products and services do you offer? And then how can they find out more about those products and those services?
Absolutely. Well, again, my name is Coach Cailah. I run a program called Design Your Body Academy. This is where I literally teach you how to design your body. You can follow me here on Facebook. Kevin, if those of you are watching on Kevin's Facebook, can follow from the link there. Same thing on mine. But my website is www.coachcailah.com. I offer several services, whether it be online fitness programs. Like I've got a workout tonight. It's a group Zoom workout. Y'all are more than welcome to join. Follow me on Facebook at Coach Cailah. You'll see the link. But also I do nutrition coaching, where I have monthly programs where I do weekly meal plans for you. Nutrition coaching, just like, okay, what are you eating? How is it affecting your body, your weight gain, your weight loss, so on and so forth. So as a whole, follow me. I'm Coach Cailah. My website is coachcailah.com, and you'll see tons and tons of resources. I also have a group here on Facebook called Black Fitness Fanatics. So if you are a Black fitness fanatic, go ahead and join that. Another group specifically for nutrition and women called Nutrition for Black Women. And the reason that I focus on nutrition for Black women is because I believe that Black women are the ones that in our families, we control the nutrition. So therefore, if we control the nutrition, those are the keys to the kingdom. So if we can better the nutrition for ourselves, for our partners, for our families, we can literally birth new generations of healthy, strong, and mentally sound people. So my goal is to affect the Black community through the Black woman. And I want to back her out a question from Lily Chadwick. She says, can you elaborate on protein drinks and are they beneficial for women? So if I can answer that real quick, Kevin.
Go ahead. I love it.
All right. So protein drinks, there are hundreds. So I can't say as a whole, right? But you want to look at the ingredients, okay? So anything that's pre-made, I'm not a personal fan of. I'd rather make it myself because I can control the ingredients. I can control what's in it. So if, again, like something like muscle milk, I'm not a fan of it, or I'm just not a fan of protein drinks. But you do want to get a good protein supplement. Okay, I personally do not take protein because I eat enough protein. It is more beneficial for your body to glean those macronutrients from whole food sources than it is to take a supplement. Okay, your supplements are supposed to literally supplement what you are not getting enough of in your nutrition. So if I know that fruits and veggies, unfortunately, the ground is not fertile enough to give me all the nutrients that are supposed to come from them, then I'll take a multivitamin. But other than that, I'm not taking a protein supplement or anything else. But if you do choose to take protein supplements, then you want to get a good protein powder. I'm a fan of Garden of Life. They are a vegan protein company that also does sports products and all that. I do not get commission from Garden of Life or anything. I'm just a fan of their product. So check out Garden of Life and you'll see their protein products. But other than that, that's my first and my highest recommendation. But I wouldn't even buy it because, again, if you eat properly, and I can help you with that because, again, I do my meal plans and things like that. If you eat whole foods is what will heal your body. Yep. Lily, I hope that helped answer your question, okay?
I'm glad you mentioned whole foods. Before I get there, I do take protein shake every now and then as a supplement. As a supplement. But I would share this one. I like this one a lot. It's called Sun Warrior, and it's a protein blend. It's, let's see, no sugar, gluten-free, dairy-free. It's vegan, organic, plant-based. And the reason why I like this one, in terms of if you are going to use a protein shake, this one is extremely natural. Here's the entire list of ingredients. It's got organic pea protein, organic hemp protein, organic goji berry, organic whole ground coconut, and that's it. So it's a very clean, in my opinion, clean if you're going to, do the supplement.
Yeah.
It's a very clean supplement protein shake. Now, you gave us a very high level overview of nutrition, that nutrition 101. If a lot of people, I don't know if they'll quite understand everything you said. I certainly understood, everything you said, because I've read a lot about nutrition, whole foods, superfoods, and things like that. Now, you mentioned whole foods. Before you mentioned that, I was going to ask you, there's a saying that when you go grocery shopping, you basically should only be shopping around the perimeter of the grocery store or something to that effect. So can you talk a little bit about, your whole foods, quote unquote, shopping on the perimeter of the grocery store versus, buying things on the interior of the grocery store, and what that difference is?
Absolutely. So first of all, Walmart does not count. It does not count. I would not go grocery shopping at Walmart, like actual food shopping at Walmart, if you can help it. If you do, then you want to stay organic, because if you just logically think about it, a chain superstore that has, hundreds of locations around the country that carries hundreds of different types of foods in large quantities, it can't always be that healthy, and you got to look at where is it coming from. So I'm afraid of shopping for food at large scale stores. But I do love places like Aldi's and Kroger, right? But if you do have to shop at Walmart, I get it. We have a lot of food deserts, but long story short, shop organic, right? So when you shop at a regular grocery store, around the perimeter is where you're going to have your actual foods, not food products. Like a protein powder is a food product, but you're going to actually find food. So from your veggies to your fruits to, of course, your meats, your cheeses, things like that, they're primarily going to be around the outskirts of most grocery stores. Now, on the inside of grocery stores, you will find your healthy products. Like there are some breads that are very healthy. I just bought some yeast today. I'm going to make my own bread. So ideally, you want to get more whole foods and food products. Again, same reason as to why I prefer eating my protein versus drinking my protein. Because again, I would rather that it's not only a preference, but it's healthier, because your body is able to use its natural process of breaking down those amino acids, those proteins. But yes, it is true. Ideally, you want to shop primarily around the outside and don't get food products, but purchase whole foods.
Yep. And so just to summarize that in a sense, if you're eating healthy, you're getting a nutritious diet, you really shouldn't be eating processed foods at all. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're in America, you're going to eat something processed. It's going to be, but if you can control it, that's why I absolutely love the fact that people are eating in more than they are out now. So I bet you that a lot of you are probably, if you're eating in at home, you're probably experiencing some health differences than you were before. Because if you're eating out at McDonald's and Wendy's and KFC and all those nasty places, you're consuming nothing but processed foods. It's processed sauces, it's processed products, processed crap. But at home, if you cook that same chicken sandwich you were going to get, it's going to be healthier. If you cook your own food. So, oh my gosh, that's the biggest thing that I can say. Across any registered dietitian, any nutritionist, we would tell you, make your own food. I don't care if you make your own ice cream. It's healthier than buying it from the store. Because when you can control the ingredients that you are cooking with, you can control your own health. Your health is literally in your hand. It is literally in your hand. It's in your wallet. It is in your refrigerator. It's in your push-ups, your sit-ups, your squats, your jumping jacks. The power to control your own life is in your hands. That is the strongest power that God has given us to self-control our own bodies. That's why, again, design your body. That's why I'm such an advocate of that.
Yep. Okay, so we're running up. It's 2:57. We did start a little bit late, so I'm going to see if we could go for maybe another 5 minutes or so, and
yeah, I'm good for that.
And we'll wrap it up. Let's see. I was going to ask you. So when you were talking about nutrition, you talked about the nutrients, and one of the things you said is your body gets the energy from the food. Can you talk a little bit maybe about just how your mind and your body generally are affected from a mood standpoint or a feeling standpoint by the food that you consume, so that people can kind of understand a little bit more, maybe the nuances of how they may feel after they eat something, or not eating something, but just kind of the general overall human performance from the food itself or the lack thereof.
Absolutely. Food, so without getting super scientific, food is information, okay? Food is a tool. We make it taste good with our spices and our seasonings, but those in themselves are also information, right? So your body is the most amazing machine that God has ever created, okay? There is nothing on this earth like the human body. Universe, I can't tell you because aliens, they might be real. I don't know. But at least on earth, right? So when you consume food, right, the process of breaking down that food to glean energy from it begins when you're looking at it. That's why food presentation is so important. If it looks nasty, your body is not going to be ready to eat it. If it smells nasty, your body's just like, I don't want a salad, right? So food presentation is super important, because if you've ever seen those old school cartoons where there's that smell coming from the kitchen, and it's kind of going through the air, and then you have the dog or the person that catches it and they're just floating towards it. Like, that's real. It prepares your body to eat. Now, in that preparation of eating, your mouth begins to salivate again, which is a preparatory step to digesting that food. So, long story short, I'm trying to get out of the science aspect of it. When you consume this information, that information either tells you something positive or tells you something negative. So if the information is tainted with chemicals that are harmful, i.e. processed foods, processed sauces, and things of that sort, your body begins to go haywire. It doesn't know where to store it. It doesn't know how to break it down. And then we have these things called free radicals, which begin to multiply. And free radicals cause, on the light and the easy end, swelling. They cause irritation. They cause muscle soreness. But on the heavy end, they become cancerous cells. So that information that we are taking in can cause cancer. The foods that you are eating can cause cancer. Or you can take the same or different information and take that in, and it can fight cancer. It can fight inflammation. It can fight those negative aspects. So when we talk about brain health, you want to be able to consume foods that are not high in sugar, right? Yes, your brain does function off of carbohydrates. Yes, your brain can also function only off of fats, but it's about eating not just straight sugar, right? It's about eating healthy, high nutrient dense foods where your brain can have enough energy, enough information, and enough tools to actually produce the signals that it needs to produce. So you have serotonin that can be produced. You have several other chemicals that can be produced to allow your body to think clearly, to be calm. So food can be calming. Food can be excitatory. So food is information. And it's, without getting into a lot of details, which is really hard on the aspect of the chemicals of food, food is information.
Yeah.
You can tell your body to heal itself. You can tell your body to lose weight. You can tell your body to get strong, or you can tell your body, go sit down and go chill. Let's just relax. You can tell your body, oh, let's just generate these cancerous cells that are going to spread and cause, masses and tumors in our body. So when it comes to mental performance, eating nutritious foods that are high in nutrients, your dark leafy greens, your brilliant bright colors, your purples, your reds, of course, your greens, all of your colors, right? Eating lean cut meats, because fat itself holds toxins. Even if you're on a keto or a high fat diet, fat itself in animal products hold toxins. So if you get, your organic meats, your lean cut meats, and add your own fat to it, that will allow your body to have a much more cleaner process in simulating, so that you don't have brain fog, so that you can, stay awake at the office, so you don't need coffee or tea throughout the day. So food is information. That's the biggest thing right there. But yes, stop eating fake food, right? Stop eating processed crap, because again, as I said before, we are committing slow suicide. That slow suicide comes from processed foods, comes from improper choices, or again, being complacent and being lazy. Go take your butt to the grocery store. Get some healthy foods. Look at your grandma's recipe book. I know you got it. Look at your mom's recipe book. I know you have it. Stop being lazy. Your laziness will kill you. Your laziness will kill your family. So stop doing it.
Perfect. I like that. I've never heard the phrase that food is information. I really like that. Food is information. And that was just a great response, giving us the detail behind how the information in the food itself and what we're giving our body instructions and how our body responds. That was a great answer. All right. So I'll end with this. Now, I wanted to, you talked about, okay, so nutrition. If you've been eating bad and eating processed foods, it's fair to say, from my understanding, and this isn't the last question, it's just kind of more of a comment, but from my understanding, the body can reverse as you start to take in new information, right? New food. There is a reversal effect that the body can go through to start to heal itself. Is that right?
Yep. Absolutely. Now, I know this is a common thing that's taught in, your health class when you were in like 7th grade, but your body regenerates itself every 7 years. I don't remember the exact timing, but even you have new taste buds every few months or whatever it is. So if your body can regenerate itself, that means that you're not stuck where you are. So if you've lived a life of heavy processed foods, of fast foods, of just bad decisions when it comes to nutrition and your fitness, you can change it. You can detox your body by starting to eat healthy foods. I do have a 14-day whole food detox. It's not a pill. It's not a product. It is a meal plan that literally helps you to cleanse your body out in 14 days. And the average weight loss that I have on that for most clients is about 10, 11 pounds. So imagine that. You cleansing your system, not buying a product, a pill or a potion, but with the food that you're actually supposed to eat, and then eliminating, again, 11, 12 pounds of that. So with just healing your body and starting that process, you can lose the weight easily and then begin on your way, because now your body is clean and is ready to accept new information. So yes, food is information. And again, if your body can regenerate itself, think about just healing, just natural healing process. You get a scratch, there's new skin that's coming over. That means that you're not stuck. So again, if you have lived a life where you have been making bad nutrition decisions, you're not stuck where you are. If you're overweight, if you're dangerously overweight, or just slightly, you can start now to literally change and design your body. And of course, I would love to help you guys on the way.
I like it. All right, so we'll end on a slightly lighter note. The only question I was going to ask you is, now I know you compete, and I know you've been competing, and I actually started competing again myself last year. I started running some 5Ks and things.
Nice.
You talk about, the importance of, as you adopt a healthy lifestyle or a more healthy lifestyle, the importance of, putting yourself around some type of support group, some type of support network, and then some of the benefits of getting involved in extracurricular activities like, joining a fitness group or actually going out to compete or, something like that? What are some of the benefits and importance of doing that?
Well, absolutely. If myself, again, I'm an athlete. I was an athlete. I'm still trying to be an athlete. But I've even noticed in myself that I need a reason to do it. So my body is my uniform, and if I'm fat and out of shape, obviously you're not going to sign up for any of my programs. Part one. But part two, if I don't have a competition to do something for, I've noticed a change in my own nutrition and fitness habits. So even myself, I use my own tools. I create excuses for me to get in shape. So my most recent excuse was becoming a bikini athlete. I wanted to see if I could do it. I've never been on stage like that, butt naked, but I did it. So if you create an excuse for yourself, again, and that excuse can be a 5K, that excuse can be somebody's wedding, or somebody's vacation, whatever else. Create the opportunity for you to get healthy. Now, in these quarantine times, I'm sure, just like I am, many of you are maybe feeling, feeling the lack of personal interaction or people, or that just community. This is how we can really realize how important community is. So when you join a community that can help you stay motivated, they might be like, hey girl, hey friend, we're gonna go work out, come join us. If you join that community, it can really just help you stay motivated and stay active, because now it's not just you fighting for you. Now you have someone else that's fighting for you because they're calling you and saying, hey friend, let's go work out. Or hey friend, join me on this Coach Cailah Zoom workout today at 6 p.m. Right? They're just saying, hey friend, let's go do this. So when you have someone like a coach or like just somebody online or a Facebook group, if you have them that can hold you accountable, that accountability helps you to stay motivated. And so yes, do it. Join all the groups in the world. Do everything that you can. Again, that's what I do. I am literally paid to be your friend. I am literally paid to be your coach, your accountability partner, because you need that. At the end of the day, most people, they need that. Whether you're an athletic, a person, whether you're in college or whether you're, 50, 60 years old, you still need someone that's going to say, hey, get up and go, or let's get up and go.
Yep.
Right? So that community is absolutely necessary. Don't try and do it by yourself. If you have, you probably already failed, and it's okay. It's a learning process. Yep. Get with somebody, get with a coach like me or someone else, and get that process done.
Yep, that's perfect. And we'll finish on that note. If you failed, it's not the end of the world. This is a journey, right?
Yep.
It's not a destination. It's a journey. There are ups, there are downs, there are pauses, there are breaks, there are continuations, there are failures, there are successes, but it is a journey and it is a lifestyle that we'll engage in until the day we die.
Absolutely. It's a lifestyle. Design your body. That's my motto, because you can actively design your body to the way that you want it to be. It can look the way you want it. So if you have an image, if you have a picture in your mind of your better self, realize that. Wake up every day, look at it, feel that, really want that, and then go out and make it happen. I believe that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So go make it happen. There's nothing stopping you but you. There is absolutely nothing in this world that is stopping you from being great but you. It ain't the white man, it ain't nobody's man, it ain't no one's friend, your family. There's no one in this world that is stopping you, not even Rona. You can be great despite all the things that are affecting you in your life. All it takes is one decision. Every single day, one decision to do a little bit better every day. I encourage you, go work out. I encourage you, eat healthy, stay sharp. If you need help, Coach Cailah's got your back.
That's the coach in you. Thank you. Thank you for the words, the motivation, the inspiration, the accountability, the rawness, the realness. Thank you for everything that you brought to the table today. We will definitely make your information available. If you're watching, excellent, be sure to follow Kayla on all of her social media. If you're interested in working with her on a nutrition or physical fitness side, make sure you reach out to her. And I'll upload this video so that you can have it as a future reference. and really excited about everything you got going on and looking forward to working with you again. She's also written a book that's available on Amazon. I'll make sure that I'll include that in the comments when I post the video. So she has a ton of information. She's got a ton of products. She's got a ton of services. She has everything you need. So you got to stop making the excuses and get to work. Get to work. Get to work. I like it. I like it. Well, thank you so much, Coach Cailah. It was great talking to you.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for joining us on Facebook Live and on Zoom. This is really fun.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Take care. Peace.
All right. See you guys. Awesome.